Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Giri Dhar Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Rana Manan Hanchita Prabhu Shri Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhagavat Saptah Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhagavat Saptah Maharaj Shri Guru Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti-Niketan Toyashami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Pranta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Guru Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Pranta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Pranta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Bhakti Pranta Swami Maharaj Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Tamara Goswami Maharaj Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Swaparsha Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanti Saraswati Goswami Thakur Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahansa Srila Gaurkishwaras Bhakti Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Bhakti Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Guru Ki Jai. Jai Shri Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Srila Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Kavicharya Ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shri Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sri Damodar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Radha Ramananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Prem Se Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Ganadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakti Vindi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vrajmandal Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vrinda Devi Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Jai Shri Mati Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Radha Kansham Kunda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Vinod Bihari Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Ras Bihari Ji Ki Jai. Jai Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Yuga Dharma Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Shakanvitamscha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namam Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunaishcha Yuktam Varang Varanyam Purusham Mantam Narayanam Tvang Shirasanamani Zanninam Bhakta Shiromanincha Shri Krishna Padam Jagritai Kadiri Chaitanya Lilamrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tvang Satatam Kapadye Namam Vishnu Padaya Shri Keshava Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Ramaniti Namine Gaurabhavamayo Deha Ujjvala Rasa Bhavaka Bhaktivedanta Vamano Raga Bhakti Pravartaka Guru Dhami Jase Prashamati Granthe Bhagavate Sakshat Goswami Vedante Rati Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Desha Dharine Namo Vishnupadaya Acharya Singharupine Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshavarti Namine Atimartya Charitraya Svashritanam Chapaline Jiva Dukke Sadartaya Shri Nama Premadayine Gaurashraya Vigrahaya Krishna Kamaikacharine Rupanuga Pravaraya Vinodeti Swarupine Prabhupadantarangaya Sarvasya Gunashaline Maya Bharatamugnaya Vedantartha Vare Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Dinamine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarini Rupanuga Viruddhava Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambhode Parambhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanga Varayate Gaura Vibhava Bhumesvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Kishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Panamami Haripriye Jayatam Surato Bangor Mahamandamate Gati Matsarvasva Padam Bhojo Radha Madanamodano Devya Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadva Srimadratnagar Simhasanasto Srimadraha Shiva Govinda Deva Krishnami Dhisegamanu Smarami Srimadrasarasaramhi Vamshivadatastika Karsham Denu Smaner Gopi Gopinatha Shriyesana Vrindaya Tulasi Degai Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavajjaya Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Shri Guru Bhagavatam. It's Sanskrit. Sanskrit, yeah. The regular way. Not great. But more common.
प्राप्तस्य कल्याणागुणानव Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Hitadaraye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Panchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Evacha Paritanahabhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I pay my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of my Guru Dev, Vicharita Vishnupad, Ashtota Lishra Shishima Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and to our entire Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to Sripad Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. And Shri Radha Rasvi Hari, Shri Gonikar, Shri Radha Janubi, Tosi Maharani. So Maharaj finally caught me. Yesterday I escaped. I had a good excuse yesterday. So Maharaj is requesting so many devotees to speak the glories of Shri Gurudev. So it is my duty as his aspiring disciple to speak something in his glory. So actually glorification is going on everywhere, both in the material world, in the material sphere, and in the spiritual sphere. In the material world, there is so much competition to be glorified. Someone wants to become a famous musician. Someone wants to be a famous wealthy person. Someone else wants to be a famous politician or a reformer. Someone wants to be famous as the discoverer of some new science or some new theory or some new methodology, some new medicine. So this material world is full of the desire for name and fame, which means the desire to be glorified by others. So this glorification is an intimate part of being a living being. That our very nature is to glorify and to lead and to seek out glorification. So, as we understand that this material world is like a reflection of the spiritual world. Shri Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita that there's a tree, and this tree has its branches downwards. So just like we go to the bank of any lake, we'll see some tree next to the lake, and if you look in the water, you'll see the tree is also there, but it's upside down. Its branches are down instead of up for the normal tree. So that means that whatever we find in this material world has its original Jai Shri Radha Shri Radha Rasi Hari Ju Jai Radha Vinodi Hari Ju Jai. So what is there is also here, but here it is upside down. So this glorification is here in a perverted way, in the desire to be glorified. I want other people to glorify me. We may not think of it that, oh, I don't want to become famous. But we see that we all have some desire to be appreciated and thanked and glorified in some way. Oh, is everybody noticing what I'm doing? Are they noticing that I washed the pots? Are they noticing that I cooked? Are they noticing that I spoke so nicely, that I sang so nicely? So even though we may not be seeking any high position to be a world famous anything, but still that desire to want to be appreciated, glorified, praised is there within all of us. So why is it there? Well, it must be there in its purest sense in the spiritual world. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing his pastimes in Navadvip and his pastimes as a scholar, at one point he was in meditation chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And one young Brahmana, maybe it was one of Mahaprabhu's students, he saw Mahaprabhu chanting Gopi, 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 and he said, "Hey, what are you doing? Why you should be chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. What is this Gopi, Gopi, Gopi?" So Mahaprabhu, in his bhav, he became very angry with that person. And he got up with a stick and started to chase after that person. And that Brahmana, young Brahmana, ran away, and he went to his associates, his friends, and said, "Do you know what Nimai Pandit is? He threatened to beat me with a stick. How dare he? Doesn't he know who we are? We are the Brahmanas. How can he possibly threaten us like this?" And so he got them all riled up. "Yes, yes. If he tries to do this again, we will beat him." So when Nimai Pandit understood what is their mentality, he thought, "Oh, this is very bad for them." He was not thinking bad for me. He was thinking this is bad for them. Because if they vilify me, if they criticize me, then what can I do? They will go to hell. That is not Mahaprabhu sending them to hell, no. They will go to hell because that is the way the nature works. If you blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have to go to hell. That is Maya's business to put you there. So, out of his mercy, Mahaprabhu decided that therefore I must find some tricky way that all these persons, they will automatically pay obeisances to me and then they will be free from their offense. So then he decided that I will take sannyas. And in that culture, at that time, everybody very respectful to sannyasi, no matter who they are. If they are wearing the garb of sannyasi, then everyone will bow down and pay respect. Still in India now, that is the culture. Any sadhu comes, the people will pay obeisances, give them some dakshin, no matter what is their character. So if you say any renunciate, then you must pay obeisances, and if you don't pay obeisances, then you will have to fast for the whole day. And I think there was one story with Srila Prabhupada. I think it was Srila Bhakti Sri Damodar Maharaj was discussing this with Srila Prabhupada, and he asked Prabhupada, "So what happens if you don't pay obeisances? Then you must fast. Well, what happens if you don't fast? Then you have to go to hell." So this is very important. When we see the sadhu, we must pay obeisances. In our sangha, because many of us are coming from ISKCON, and there, when we joined, even we saw one other brahmachari, we pay obeisances. We were always, every time we see another devotee, we paid our obeisances on the ground to each other. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I think I remember reading in one of the Harmonist magazines, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is lamenting, even in his time, how now the devotees are becoming so lax with each other. They just say, "Oh, highball. Yeah. Instead of paying proper respect, vanchakalpadubhishta, like this. So over time we can see how things get diluted, and so we have to try to re-inject, just like Maharaj is here to re-inject us all with some enthusiasm for energizing our practices in bhakti. Because after some time away from the sadhus, then naturally we'll go down, down, down. And then we will start spending more time on our telephones, our mobile phones, our YouTube channels. So many things we'll find a distraction. So that is the necessity of the association of the sadhus, that they will bring us up. And for some time we will come up, and then maybe we'll go down a bit, and then up, just like the crypto, up and down, up and down. So but overall we're going up, right? I'm minding my own business. Yes. So Lord Krishna knows that it's in the best interest of the living entities to glorify him. Not that he's desperate for attention. Oh, I am so bored. Then bring someone to glorify me. Like in the age of the kings of old, they used to have the bards come and sing their glories. So Krishna is not desperate for our glorification. Neither is our Guru Varga in need of our glorification. But we are in need of glorifying them for our own benefit. Because the tongue has to be used. And either the tongue is used for criticizing or for glorifying. There's not too much else to do in this world. Right? The gossip is there, or the glorification. So, what can I say in glorification of our Gurus? I have really no realization to speak what is their glories. I joined the ISKCON movement when I was in college in England, and I met some devotees there, and eventually actually Sripad Bhaktivedanta Nemi Maharaj, he was like my Vajrapradarsha Guru, and he was living there with his family in that town that I went to college, and somehow I met him, he was doing some programs. So this is the importance of preaching, even some small preaching program, that just only a few people are coming, but you don't know who's coming. Not that I am anything, but that if we go out, we may only meet one person's life we may change. We may think, oh, what is my power to change? But you may meet one person, and that person is somehow right for Krishna consciousness. And you may give them some book and give them some words or something, and that will start their spiritual life. So whatever we can do to start the spiritual life of others, that is in our interest, in their interest. And as Maharaj was saying this morning, even though I wasn't here in person, but I heard something. Maharaj was saying that we should dedicate our life to doing something for the mission of our Guru Varga. So that is one thing I can say about my Gurudev and our Srila Prabhupada, that they did not retire when they were old, and they did not take it easy. And they are in their 70s, and we are in our 30s, 20s, 40s, 50s. And we are thinking, oh, and I have done 20, 30 years of devotional service now. Let the younger generation take over, and I will sit back and take prasada. But this is not the mood of our acharyas. Srila Gurudev was getting up early every day, doing so many prayers, and going to Mangalarti, and attending to so many other devotees' welfare, spending so much of his time and blood to inspire others. So we should also try to do that. I'm speaking to myself, of course, that we should try to inspire others. Otherwise, if we are going, oh, life is so hard, then how will you inspire anyone? Gurudev used to say after the Parikrama that you should go home and tell everyone how wonderful it was. There was no problems. The prasadam was great, the accommodation was like a 5-star hotel. Oh, okay. So I'll skip that part. So, I have nothing to say now. So our Guru Varga, they are spending their blood, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we should spend so many gallons of blood to bring the conditioned souls. So actually, we are not bringing anyone. That is only the mercy of our Guru Varga to give us something to do. Something to do. What is our attempt to do anything? Some small program. If you zoom out on the map, if you look at Okeechobee and you go out. Now what you'll be left is some speck that nobody even knows about. There's some speck in the vast cosmos. We are thinking, oh, we are doing a big program. So we have to do something, but we have to understand what is our actually real position. That we are only one speck. That Shikshasta, what is that? Justice. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patikam mam vishanetavanto kripaya tavapada pankaja stita duri sadrisham vichintaya. I just want to become the speck on the dust. So, Srila Gurudev spent so much of his later years in life traveling the West and inspiring so many devotees who lost their enthusiasm. I also have lost my enthusiasm. So, how we can possibly repay our Gurudev and our Guru Varga? That who are we that they came to save us. So at least we can try to put on some kind of a face that we are enthusiastic. Even if we are not, that we should pretend to be enthusiastic. Like one devotee approached Srila Prabhupada, said, Srila Prabhupada, I really don't feel like paying obeisances to you when I see you. Because this is in the very early days when they were very intimate with Srila Prabhupada. So I don't really feel like paying obeisances. He was very honest, Srila Prabhupada. When I see you, why should I bow down to you? I am also a human being. So Prabhupada said, well, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. And then later you will want to do it. So in the beginning, that is vaidhi, that we may be forced. We may have to force ourselves to follow some rules, and get up early in the morning and eat only and not eat certain things and eat other things and no tomatoes. Come on. So the reason that we do these things is to practice the renunciation. Because one day we will have to renounce everything, like our Maharaj here. He is the one saffron amongst all the ocean of white. So how strong Maharaj is. So we are saffron, we were also saffron, then we became white. That the white, when will the white become saffron? Only the devotees are wearing saffron. Yeah. They are qualified. Gurudev said, you can speak the Rasikatha, Maharaj, I can only speak the very low. So anyway, I don't want to belabor my point. I'd just like to appreciate also my Sripad Maharaj, who remained in America when all the others went back to the Holy Dham. And he's traveling around, inspiring so many. Thank you. That was a blessing or curse?
Blessing. Both.
I want to go Vrindavan.
Me too.
I want to
Take
go
me,
Vrindavan.
take
Enough
me.
of America.
Take me.
So, all the time when I start speaking, it goes in the flow. Better I should not speak anything because we have only today and tomorrow, 2 days left. And we have some very special ladies from Houston. Haripriya Didi, my, what do you call, younger mother, young in age. She has so much to say about Gurudev. She was teenager when Gurudev used to stay in their house in New Zealand. And she has so much to share. You get that?
Hare Krishna. Maharaj didn't warn me, so I didn't prepare anything. Mama Jnana-Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shripadaya Radhikaye Priyatmane Sri Srimad Bhagavat Saptah. My thousands of obeisances at the lotus feet and the dust of the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Diksha Guru Shri Srimad Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj, onto my entire Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga and Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj, my older son, and all the respected devotees, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled here. I'm speaking my memories.
Memories and the lesson behind those, so that we can all get encouraged and inspired.
So I'm yet to learn my lessons, but I'll try and speak something. So, Srila Gurudev came to New Zealand. I grew up in New Zealand. I'm from New Zealand. And Gurudev came there in the year 2000. I was 12 years old. And so in that bhajan, there's Nityananda Prabhu goes door to door and telling everyone, sing, take the name of Gauranga, and you can purchase me, right? So you can see that our Gurudev is not different from Nityananda Prabhu. He went country to country and then door to door. And so now I think about it, like he came all the way to New Zealand. It's like this country that's falling off the end of the earth, so far away. But Srila Gurudev, when he was 80 years old, he came that far. This was the arrangement of the Kunjas, so eternally indebted to the whole family, which is Radharani's family, Radharani Devi's family. They had arranged for, he was already coming to Fiji, and then they had arranged for him to come to New Zealand. So my aunt, my mom's sister, my Masi, she actually saw this poster in an Indian grocery store, and the title said, Gaudiya Vaishnav, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Maharaj. So she brought it home, and my father saw that, and my father used to read a lot. We were already in ISKCON. I was pretty much born into the movement. And he remembered, he recalled this name from Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, because there's many mentions of Gurudev in that book. So he thought, oh, this is a really senior Vaishnava, very close to Srila Prabhupada, so we must go and see him. When we went, this was a few weeks or maybe months, I don't remember the details, but a few weeks or months later, we went to see Gurudev. It was in this big Hindu temple in Auckland, and the first day we went, Gurudev had not arrived. His flight got delayed. He was coming the next day. When we went that day, we were all the way, me, my brother, and my parents, we were all the way in the back by the entrance or the exit. We didn't come close to Gurudev, and then but we heard him, and it was really nice. Like we felt so nourished, so happy. When I heard his voice before even going into the temple room, and I felt like, oh, this is Prabhupada. This is not different from Prabhupada. I felt his voice was same, his accent was the same also. So I remember feeling like this is someone of that caliber. Anyway, then the day after that we could not go for some reason I don't remember. Then the third day we went back, so this is the second time we saw Srila Gurudev. So the third day when we went, we were sitting all the way in the back, but after the katha, we saw everyone going up closer to Gurudev as we did, and did pranam to him, so he was looking at everyone. So then I told my parents, I said, let's go, everyone's going. And in ISKCON this didn't happen. We didn't go up and touch feet and all these things and do pranam. So it was new. I said, okay, let's go, let's go. So my whole family went closer to Gurudev. And we were like just this few feet distance, and Gurudev saw my father who was wearing tilak, so then he took interest, he came a little closer. Then he looked right into my mother's eyes and he says, Kal kyun nahi aayi? In Hindi, which means, why did you not come yesterday? So this is the second time we met Gurudev. There was 500 people there every night at that temple. The first day, we were behind 500 people, and we had never met Gurudev in this lifetime before. But the first thing he said to my mother was, why didn't you come yesterday? And immediately my mother, she felt, we actually talked about it recently, she said, oh, it didn't feel like we're meeting someone new. It was just being reunited. And he asked, why didn't you come yesterday? How did we know this? So anyway, that night my parents came home and they told me and my brother, we have found our Guru, our Diksha Guru. Tomorrow we will go and take Diksha from him. I was very happy actually. We were in ISKCON, there were so many issues, as we all know. And many, many years in ISKCON, my parents didn't take initiation, even though so many people had come to our home and they were being recruited by many, many, but never happened. But one meeting with Gurudev and they were just completely done and dusted, gone. His blue eyes just captured them. And so then the next morning we went to Kanti Prabhu's home and Gurudev was staying there. There was no one. That was the first time Gurudev came to New Zealand. There was nobody there. Like, it was just this few core group. It was quiet. The mornings were there. The mornings were so quiet because it was like, no, those were like amazing days. It was like very few devotees. And it was 5, 6 in the morning. Then we went in, and my parents went into Gurudev's room. It was time for their diksha. And just a couple of minutes after my parents were in Gurudev's room, me and my brother were sitting outside. Rajnath Prabhu came out and he looked at me and my brother and he said, Srila Gurudev is asking you both to come inside also. And I was thinking, wow, that was quick diksha, like 2 minutes. Anyway, then we went in. I didn't know what to expect. We were sitting quietly in the room, the 4 of us. Gurudev was sitting up on his bed and we were sitting in front of him on the floor. And he starts to give Gopal Mantra immediately. I was so confused. I was like, what is happening? I have no idea. And I didn't know what Gopal Mantra was. I didn't ask for initiation. And I thought, oh, isn't Harinam first? I never got Harinam. He just jumped to Gopal Mantra. Then he started saying, oh, you should do this mantra every day. I still had no clue that I was getting initiated. My brother looked at me, he was like, this is what they warned us about. Anyway, I came out. I had still didn't really occur to me that Gurudev had given me initiation. Anyway, I don't want to take too much time, but keep that time, Maharaj. Oh, 10 minutes, okay. Okay. So anyway, he didn't give me a name or anything. It just didn't really. I didn't even do my. I'll be honest. I didn't do my mantras. I had no idea like what had happened at that time, and because no one told me to do, like how to do, what to do, nothing. He just gave the mantra. In any case, time went on. The next day, I think that same day, Gurudev says, "Oh, I will come to your house." And we're from South India, so my mother, he wanted to have dosa. Then my mother made dosa for all the devotees, but we had heard, well, she was told that Gurudev will not take urad dal. So if you know, urad dal is the main ingredient, urad dal and rice, that's how dosa is made. But Gurudev can't take urad dal. He has to, like then she was like, how can I make dosa? But she made it with chana dal. So his dosas were yellow. Everyone had white, crispy, nice dosas, and Gurudev is sitting like right in the middle of the living room, people all around him, and he just has different dosas. And he's not happy. So the whole time he's just looking at other people's plates. And then he's looking at Madhavan. Madhavan was standing, watching, like, what is he eating? And then he's just patient, and he's picking at his plate a little bit, but not very thrilled. We had no clue. Anyway, then everyone's prasad is almost done. Maharaj finishes honoring prasad, and he like stands up, he goes to use the bathroom. Then he says, quickly, bring me one of those dosa. He told my mother, like, jao jaldi mujhe waisa dosa leke aao. My mother said, what? No. Anyway, she does. We do as we're told by our Gurudev. My mom quickly got it, and he's eating so fast. Then Madhav Maharaj comes, he comes from the toilet and he's just like raging, so angry. And then they break out into this huge like verbal fight in Bengali and just shouting like at the top of both of their lungs. And Madhav Maharaj is just so unhappy, and then Gurudev is kind of laughing and kind of scared. Then he looked, and me and my parents, I remember my parents were just like really like shocked because we've never seen like a sannyasi. Not a sannyasi, he's an acharya, Mahapurush like Gurudev, acting like this naughty child and getting chastised by his seva. We've never, like when we had sannyasis before that, we would like, they were like kings, you know, the Aishwarya, they just sit with these old translations and silence, you know. The way, but Gurudev was so like, you know, like a family member, so intimate. Anyway, then he looked at my father and said, don't worry, he is Dr. No. He's pointing at Madhav Maharaj, he's like, Dr. No. So there's many stories like this actually, and I know Maharaj has also told us so many stories.
Tell us a story about that fried cashew. So I'm going
Oh,
to look for it.
yeah, so there were almonds, there were roasted, honey roasted, oh you're here. Honey roasted almonds, and this was many years later. He stayed at our home, and it was the day he had to go to the airport, and he had come from his room into the temple room. He did pranam, and next to the our mandir, there was a bowl of like honey roasted almonds, and they were like sticky because they're like, you know, they have sugar coated. And so he like, I think he had one, and then he liked it so much, but he's not allowed to have them. And then when Brajnath Prabhu and Madhav Maharaj were not looking, then he just like took a whole bunch and just put it right into his pocket. My mom saw that and she said, she was thinking his kurta will get like stuck and it'll just ruin his kurta. Like, what is he doing? And then she quickly gave him like a tissue, paper towel to put it in. But he was getting annoyed with her, like, don't bring attention. So yeah, he was like so sweet with him. And it was I remember once everyone was having like this ginger beer drink. And it looked like they were in bottles, it looked, yeah, pretty dodgy. Anyway, my goodness, oh, what is that? And then Madhav Maharaj was like, no, you will not. And then later Madhav Maharaj, huh, isme kya hai? He's like curious, like, okay, what is in this? Maybe he can have a sip, you know. So Gurudev was always like very fond of certain like, you know, tasty foods that he was not allowed to have. But just to give us all an opportunity to see his playful side, he would like show us. I also heard recently that someone, you know, people would bring him like a box of sweets or something, and he would just like take it from them before anyone else saw and just like slip it under like his bed, and like his like blanket, just like hide it like subtle. So back to like the Diksha, so one thing about, I didn't get that feeling that I just got initiated from Gurudev. So then one thing I had, every festival I saw Gurudev at, in Australia, New Zealand, in India also, whenever I saw Gurudev and he was giving initiation, I would go and be like, no, I'm getting initiated, I'm going again and again. So I've gotten initiated from Gurudev like at least 10 times. And no one ever noticed until one year. Gurudev saw me inside in the, because I was like, kuch samajh, like Madhav Maharaj would be like, you're not done yet? And I'm like, nahi, kuch samajh mein nahi aaya. And you could hear it like, I didn't understand, I don't remember. So then, and Gurudev went, after 3-4 times, he was like, abhi nahi hua tumhara. And so this was Gopal Mantra. Every time I would go back for Gopal Mantra because I was not even desirous of taking my full initiation because I was like, okay, that's way beyond where I'm at. In any case, so I would go back. And then Gurudev, noticed one time. And then I remember in Australia, it was 2000, I think, 6 or 7. And in Murugappa, I went back, and then Mother Maharaj, he noticed. He said, in front of Gurudev, he said, "Shadi ek baar hoti hai, baar nahi hoti hai." Like if you have a husband, you keep getting married to him. No, you get married once and you're done. And I said, no problem, one more time. And then so that was like 2005 or 6, and then finally I got my full initiation. It was in Kartik in Govardhan. And then I went in line again, but it was different. It was for full initiation. And Gurudev saw me. He was outside his room on that little bridge from his Bhajan Kutir to the temple. He was standing on that little bridge, and I had my full plate, offering plate, and everything. I was like, okay, now I'm getting initiated. And Gurudev saw me, and he got so mad. He's like, you again? I said, Mera nahi, I haven't had initiation. And he's like, I think kind of confused. And he says, Chalo! Get in there. So that was, how I troubled Gurudev so many times. I don't know what else to share. There was one, that same time, that same 2005 or 6 in Govardhan, in Murugappa in Australia. I remember my birth, Gurudev had a festival. It was Feb 2nd to 7th or something like that. And my birthday is Feb 2nd. And my friends had organized this thing. I was, I think, turning 20 or 21. And my friends had organized this birthday thing for me in Sydney. So I came. I decided to go to Gurudev's festival 2-3 days late. Now I always, when I think about these things, it actually really pains me that I did these stupid things. But that's how much I took Gurudev, time with Gurudev for granted. So I thought, okay, no problem. Gurudev will not notice. And I kept thinking, kya farak padta? What difference does it make? Gurudev won't even notice. I'll go 2 days late. I need to do my birthday. So I went to Sydney, and then I remember coming after my birthday. I came to the festival, and as soon as I came, everyone was asking. Gurudev's been asking, Rauji ki beti kahan hai? My father's name, Gurudev called him Rao, Rauji. So he's like, where is that daughter of Rauji? Where is that daughter of kahan hai? So I felt so I was thinking, Gurudev, he won't notice. I'm late, doesn't matter. But then when I heard there's so many, hundreds of people, but then Gurudev's asking, where is that daughter of Rauji? I felt so ashamed, and when I came in front of him, I could see he was so disappointed with me for taking him for granted and coming late just for my own fun. That was in India. That was my last one. Okay, so just before I finish, I know I've taken so much time, but my last ever darshan of Gurudev, I think is just really, really special and something I'll cherish forever. So I was on a preaching tour with one devotee in Australia, Chandramukhi Devi. We were in Europe for 6 months, and at the end we heard that Gurudev was unwell. He had started his sickness lila. So we came to India. We came to Delhi, where Gurudev was staying at Janakpuri, the Ramani Hari Gaudiya market there. He was very unwell, actually, externally. So we came, and I remember we were waiting for many, many days to give our, the pranami that we had collected in Europe. And we had to wait days, And we knew that was serious, and not only like, just we'd be able to go and see him. And finally we got our turn, and we were so lucky because when we went to that, Siddhanti Maharaj was in the room with Gurudev. Madhav Maharaj wasn't there. And if Madhav Maharaj was there, then he would not have given us much time. But because Siddhanti Maharaj was there, it was just Gurudev, he was on his wheelchair, and Madhav Maharaj was Siddhanti Maharaj was in that room. So I'll always remember that. And I'm so grateful because Siddhanti Maharaj was never kicked us out or anything. He was so merciful. So we had so much time. We were sitting in front of Gurudev, he was on the wheelchair. We gave our pranami to him, and he looked, and so he was so happy actually. I could see even with very few gestures and almost no words, he said, "Oh, so much." Just like a small child, they may draw a pretty crappy little drawing or whatever, but parents are like, "Wow, very nice." Like that, Gurudev, even in that condition, was so encouraging. It was so important to him actually that his daughters are strong preachers. Every time I met, literally every single time I met him, he would make a fist and he would say, "Be strong, be strong, be strong." He always wanted his daughters to be strong, independent, and preach. So he was so happy. So that was my second to last darshan when we saw Gurudev preaching.
And you always want your daughters to get married.
Not always,
I saw many times.
Yeah.
Gurudev always saying, to get married. And the boys, don't tell.
So it's funny because a lot of my friends, Gurudev said, "Don't get married, be strong, brahmachari." But with me, Gurudev always, even when I wasn't married, he once called me and he said, "Go to your husband." I was like, what? Even me and Sachin, we talk about it, and I'm like, what did he mean? And I even told him, "Gurudev, I'm not married." I'm okay. But he did tell me, he said, "No boyfriend." And he didn't want me to have boyfriend. And because Gurudev, I met Sachin. We met in Delhi when Gurudev was there. Anyway, my last darshan with Gurudev it was after Kartik that year. It was 1 month before his Aprakat Lila. He was there back in Delhi. We were back in Delhi, and I went to him just to say my goodbye. I was about to head out to the airport for my flight to go back home. And I remember we were there. There was no one at the mat. It was really serious. Gurudev was very, very weak. So many doctors had come. And I asked Rajnath Prabhu, I begged him, I said, "Please, one time let me have darshan of Gurudev. One time let me just, from far away, I'll do my pranam, but one time I want to see him before I go." I was begging and begging and begging. And he says, "No, no, 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 no." Doctors, I think that same day some doctors had come from the Philippines. So many doctors were there, and it was just very, very serious time. They just said, "No, no." And inside I was just crying. I was like, "Gurudev, I just want to see you alive and die." I didn't have any, I didn't even have the inkling that, this will be my last darshan of Gurudev. I had so much hope, no, Gurudev's going to get better. Because that time when we went to see Gurudev, when Maharaj was in the room, I said, "Gurudev, aap jaldi se theek ho jaiye. Aapse bahut sunna hai abhi." I remember telling him that, "Please get well quick. We have so much more to hear from you." And he said, "Theek hai." So I thought, oh no, he's going to get better. This is just a pastime with his. Anyway, so then it was time I had to go, and there was no hope for getting one darshan with him. So as I was about to go down the stairs, there's one, if anyone has been to that one, there's one big double door that opens up where the stairs are in Raman Bihari. And as I was about to go, those two doors flew open, and I looked, and it was Gurudev right in the middle of the room, sitting there on his bed, and I was just shocked that here I am seeing Gurudev. And it was funny because before that Gurudev was in a different room, and he had been moved into this room, and there he was, and he had a bunch of people all around him, a bunch of doctors. There was so much, like, people were talking, but he was so aloof, and he looked right into my eyes, and so, like, he was so present. He looked right at me, and then he lifted his arm up high and he waved. He waved, and he had like this complete, like there was no sickness at all. And then I just went, I was crying, and I just did pranam, and I said, like, I don't know if I even signaled, but I told him that I'm going now. And then he just did this, like Jao. Said, okay, go. So it was like, just having that last moment, he knew that would be my last darshan with him. And he just communicated with his eyes and told me, it's okay, go. And yeah, I didn't know that would be the last time, but yeah. I think that's all. I mean, I have so many small little memories over the years that, most of all, I think the realization that I'm having now, after all these years, is that it was so fortunate to have Gurudev come all the way to us, give us so much love and affection. The love that Gurudev gave is not in this world. And that's why we're so attracted to him, because he's giving love from the spiritual world. This love is not anything that we have ever experienced. So that's why everyone was just drawn to him. Wherever he was, so many people just came out of the darkness just because they were so attracted to him, his love and affection. But now I'm realizing that he had something more, something deeper to give, and all that is just the tip of the iceberg. He came to give the highest thing possible, and this is where I feel like my journey is really starting, when I'm starting to realize that there is something deeper, there's something more that he wanted to give, and we were so just, personally, I was just taking him for granted, his physical presence, but at the most, being caught up in just the external physical aspect of, I want to be with Gurudev, but now I'm realizing, hey, there's so much more. Gurudev came to give something that has never been given so openly before. And I just pray to Gurudev and beg for him to continue to give his mercy so that we could discover and realize more and more what he's really come to give. And I pray to all the Vaishnavas and Maharaj to please bless me, because Vaishnavas are so dear to the Lord that their prayers and blessings will be heard, that I can also achieve what my Gurudev wanted me to achieve.
If we read the biography of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and what we heard from Srila Gurudev, Srila Bharati Goswami Maharaj ji, and other acharyas, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada is very, very reserved and grave personality. We won't hear this kind of pastimes that we are hearing, just like Didi said about foodie pastimes of Gurudev and joking with everyone. I also know some of the pastimes and share sometime. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was not like this. And what we heard from Srila Gurudev also, and many of the disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bhatt Swami Maharaj and Gurudev, they used to tell, they were all, most of them, also very reserved, like Bhakti Siddhanti Saraswati Prabhupada. Very reserved in nature. Speaking very frankly, and so much, casual, that it's not present. There was so much reservations, but that doesn't mean they didn't like the disciples or disciples didn't like them. They were ready to give life for their Guru. There's so many examples. Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj, his disciples, they were ready to give their lives for their Guru Maharaj. Then why we see Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and our Gurudev, they were so easygoing, very casual, and this foodie pastimes and all. Even though they were 100% fully imbibed those of their Guru workers, and on the same channel, because in the room, Gurudev was very reserved. This is what is called Jive Daya, the compassion on the Jivas. Because in this period, this time, this generation as we are, we can only understand this language. We can't digest that, or we can't understand that language to be so much reserved and so much, I don't know if I'm able to describe this or not, but very thoughtful. Gurudev, he was also very thoughtful each and every step, but also very casual with his sevakas and also with householders. It's because of us. So that we can understand and we can develop faith in our Gurudev and consider him as our well-wisher and very friendly person. Because of us, they descend a level down. Because our level is like that. You can't digest that gravity. As the example of Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, he was also sometimes very casual, but most of the time he was very grave. Then most of the disciples of Srila Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj, they used to come, they were very much close to Srila Gurudev because of his so much accommodating nature. Very, very accommodating. Very, very friendly. And disciples of Srila Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj used to come, Gurudev used to say, you are my disciple. Because don't try to think, we are two bodies. We are one. There is no difference between him and me. Boldly. Since morning giving trouble. Very boldly Srila Gurudev used to say, we are same. Don't try to make any difference between us. There is no difference between Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. What I understand, because everyone have their own perceptions. Mine is very little. In every activity of Gurudev, there was so much compassion. Even if any brahmachari do something wrong in the world, and all others are against, and they are requesting Gurudev to kick him out, Gurudev used to say, where will he go? where will he go? Very compassionately, Gurudev used to forgive and give again an opportunity. I know one brahmachari, it's like almost 15 times in the room. Gurudev slapped him, chastised him and so much, but never allowed him to go out from the house. Stay here. इसी जन्म में हो जाएगा. In one lifetime, in any other lifetime, he will be on the right track. But never giving any hopeless. Never telling anyone to give your hope. So many times I saw this. Srila Gurudev's own god brother, Sheshai Prabhu, he is no more. And he used to be great Kirtaniya and was assisting Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada when he started preaching. After sannyas in Mathura Math, when Srila Swami Prabhupada ji, when he was started preaching, Sheshai Prabhu was assisting him, Kirtaniya. So he had so many memories of Srila Prabhupada. And once upon a time, he did something wrong. Like not proper arrangement, and Gurudev want everything perfect, right timings and perfect, and he gets so upset. For instance, now Jhulan is coming, right? On Jhulan time, Gurudev used to swing Radha Krishna, put Radha Krishna on the swing, and he used to swing. And in that only 1 week, or maybe 2 weeks, there's a special sweet available in India called Ghevar. Only in Sawan, on rainy season. And Pujari forgot to buy this ghevar, this sweet. And Gurudev was so angry. What? This is not here. Why ghevar is not there? He was so upset. And someone can think, how does this matter? Bring any sweet. No, that particular sweet. That's Gurudev absorption. I have to offer this to Radharani when they are on swing. So Shesha Prabhu, something happened and Gurudev was so upset. In the evening class, when he sat on his asana, then he heard that he did something wrong, some arrangements. He called upon him, come here, his own godmother. And there were like 300 devotees sitting in a temple hall full. And Guru said, come here. And he came right in front of everyone. Imagine, 300 devotees watching this. And Guru said, and start beating him there. Uma Didi and all other senior devotees, they were so shocked. And they fully believe that he will not going to stay in Math anymore. He will leave. So much insult in front of juniors. And Gurudev said, go away from here. And then he continued his Harikatha. Everyone thought, oh, he will leave center. Next day in the morning, everyone heard him singing Sansara Dava Nava Nidaloka. And everyone, he's still here. When everyone assembled in the temple hall, Prabhu, you are here. He was brahmachari, saffron class brahmachari. Prabhu is here. Uma Didi said, we lost hope that you will leave. He said, why? Narayan Maharaj is my senior godmother. He is my father. He sacrificed so much for me. He gave so much love to me. No one else would have given that much love. I didn't receive that love from my Guru Maharaj. I received everything from him. So, if he is giving so much love, he also has rights to beat me. If he would have killed me, even then, I was grateful to him because of his generous nature. Because Srila Gurudev used to sacrifice his prasadam for his godfathers and for the brahmacharis Namash. There was not enough prasadam in those days. And Srila Gurudev used to sacrifice his own, saying that today I'm not feeling well. Or if someone comes late after preaching or some collection from outside, some groceries, etc., Gurudev used to give so much sacrifice. So much sacrifice for them. He nourished the brahmacharis with his love. Nourish, you understand nourish? How a farmer works in a field. If there is no water, can farmer work in a field? तो क्या word होता है इसको? सिंचन करना? Irrigation. Srila Gurudev, he did irrigation with his love to those brahmacharis and his godbrothers. I personally saw this. In Navdeep Mud, in Navdeep Parikrama, I will not tell his name, tall figure. He was in charge of receiving guests, devotees from overseas to arrange taxi and all. And Gurudev, in the parikramas, if he see any little mistake, he can't tolerate that. He needs perfection. All perfection. Any delays he don't like. So he also did something and complaint came to Gurudev. And after Hari Katha, we were massaging Srila Gurudev in his room in Navdeep Devanand Bodhiyavan. So he said, he came to pay obeisances. He used to come every evening and he didn't know that Gurudev is upset. And paid obeisances to him. He said, Maharaj, are you okay? And Gurudev saw him and like this, 2-3 times. You know, you in America, you can't digest this. For you, this is something different. It's a different world. But that's Indian culture. That's called Mahaprasad. Because there is so much love in that. So that's what I'm saying. You not understand this because it's different culture. And I see this many times, different culture. Just like if in India, if I do many Bhagavat Saptahs, Janmashtami program, Radhashtami program in my center, even though I'm not physically doing anything, it is my devotees, rastas, brahmacharis, they run here and there, they arrange everything. But just trying to make a difference in Indian culture, I have to call them every time to ask if everything is perfect. Did you bought groceries? You did this, you did that, flower decorations, clothing, donation, envelopes, everything. Make sure. If I don't call them and ask them, they feel very neglected. That what he's eating and sleeping is not even caring. We are the one who are running. And if I'm in Europe doing this, they say, why is calling us? He don't trust us? It's a different culture. Yeah. In India I have to call them. My Radhashtami program in India is 1500 devotees. Devotees and friends. 1500. Big program. So I have to call them every hour. And they feel good. Yes, he's connected. He's caring. If I do this here, what do you think? So that's a different culture. In India we say Mahaprasad. So when this Prabhu came, paid obeisances to Gurudev, Gurudev gave punches to him. And then he was big body. And when Gurudev hit him, he got pain in his hands. Because, he was very tall. Slapped 2-3 times and he got, and Gurudev said like this. And he started massaging Gurudev and Gurudev, hey, go away. And then the system is, If Gurudev is in this mood, better you leave the room. Stand in front of it. And come after 30 minutes, you find him cool down. Gurudev anger used to be like a bubble. Boom, and finish in 5-10 minutes. Yeah. And while he was taking prasadam, I was there and Madhav Maharaji was there. Gurudev said, why I beat him? Everyone do mistake. And such a big parikrama is going on, and I don't know why I did that. Let him come tomorrow, I'll speak to him. And whole night Gurudev was thinking, why I did this, why I did this. Next morning, after Mangal Aarti, every sannyasi brahmachari comes and pay obeisances. He also came. And we were surprised, you came again? He paid obeisances to Gurudev and Gurudev said, hey, listen, come here. And he thought again he will get something. So he came and little distant. Gurudev, come close, I'm not going to beat you, come close. And all other brahmacharis, Gurudev said, you all go out. Go out. Gurudev told me to lock the door. Then I locked from inside. Gurudev said, you are my godmother. I'm very sorry what I did yesterday. Oh, when Gurudev said, I'm very sorry, he started crying. Like a child. Why are you saying sorry? You have all rights. You can even kill me. I don't mind. Because you gave so much love. Today we are in the mud because of you. Irrigation by love. We can't forget what all you have given to me and to all of us. He was crying and crying, and seeing him crying, Gurudev also started crying. So emotional, Gurudev started crying. And while he was crying, Brahmachari, he took hands of Srila Gurudev and started massaging him. He said, I know my body is big. You have pain in your hands, I heard. And he started massaging. And Gurudev embraced him. Can you imagine? We hear that Radharani is full of love. And the dear associate of Radharani, Srila Gurudev, was also embodiment of love. His anger, his slapping, his beating is not out of any envious mood. That is love actually. Love. You are mine. Gurudev used to say, I can't chastise any outsider. Those who might think I have rights on you, I love you, that's why I can chastise you. And there are so many pastimes like this. So, our senior devotees, the sannyasis in the mud, while glorifying Gurudev, in presence of Gurudev, they used to say, and sannyasis from other mutts, other Gaudiya mutts, they also used to come and they always used to say, anyone who have not got chastisement from Narayan Maharaj, they are bereft of bhakti. Such a heavy statement. Anyone who got chastised by Shri Narayan Maharaj, they are recipient of bhakti. Because that chastisement is called and it looks like chastisement, but that's a very, very intense love. There used to be one Bhakti Siddhanta Society Prabhupada disciple, I think, if I'm wrong, Shri Parvat Maharaji. He always did everything perfect. And his sevak was so tolerant. Srila Bharati Maharaji used to tell us this story. That he needs everything perfect. Because, I will tell you why, because he used to give handful of flour to make chapatis to his servant. Get me 2 chapatis with this amount of flour. And the sevak tried to be over smart, and with the same amount of flour he made 3 chapatis. Looks like very ordinary dealing, but there is a lesson. He made 3 chapatis and he was very happy that Gurudev will give me reward for this. And when he saw him plate 3 chapatis, Mahaprasad. Then his godmother said, Maharaj, why you chastise your disciple? He is not wasting your flour. The same amount, instead of 2, he made 3. How does this matter? He said, so much difference it makes. He said, what is the difference? The same amount. He said, it's not a matter of flour or chapati, it's a matter of disobeying. I want to correct him from very beginning, very first day, because he will develop this habit of disobeying, and for that I don't want to see him going to hell. I want to make them perfect, because we have to go to this land of perfection, and everything is perfect there. There is no mistakes there. So that's the mood they are holding. There is a reasoning behind this. Why Shri Gurudev is so casual and so friendly with us? There is reason behind this. Why chastising and then loving? There is a reason behind this. Why they want perfection? There is a reason behind this. Not without any reason. There is always some reason behind this. If you will see how Gurudev used to chastise, oh, you will walk out. So Parvat Maharaji, when he used to, every single day, the servant gets so much chastisement. Oh, I would have leave him. I can tell you. Because every day if you get hammered, oh, there's a limit to tolerate. But he was keep on serving his Guru Maharaj years and years and years. Srila Bharati Maharaji told, that's why whenever this sevak used to come in front of Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, Sridhar Goswami Maharaj used to embrace him and cry for him. Embrace of Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, that you are so much tolerant and you love your Gurudev so much. I've never seen any sevak like this. Anyone would have immediately leave. Can't tolerate that much. You have so much tolerance. And every time he's getting any chastisement, he's just smiling, he's laughing. This is called Shri Guru Charane Rati. Attachment to Shri Gurudev is not that when Gurudev is happy with me, oh, he's praising me and glorifying me, and rewards from him. Unconditional means at all times, all ready for all times. Whatever comes on the way from him, whatever prasad. This is how our Srila Gurudev and our Acharyas, they serve their Guru Pad Padma throughout their life. We are not here to become gurus, we are here to become disciples. We are here to become disciples. So these memories have significance. These memories have so much lessons to give us a staunch faith in our Gurudev. Prior to Srila Gurudev, he just used to say, I want this festival to be done, Janmashtami. The whole team, all of us, sannyasis, brahmachari, grastas, arranging everything. And he was just supervising. Accepting the mood of Gurudev as my mood. Because he is not outsider. He is my father. We have to understand that culture. His mission is my mission. His problem is my problem. His seva to his Guru Parampara is my seva. I know. I say this wherever I go, I say this to encourage myself. I don't want to offend anyone. Why I say this every time? To make me, myself, aligned with this, what I say. That contribution, that Gurudev mission is my mission, that was not his individual mission. That is also my mission, and I have to contribute in that mission of Gurudev in whatever capacity I can. and even have to go beyond that capacity. It can be physical, financial, or anything. Even moral support is enough. But contribution. And then we develop this. What we call dadati pratiginati. Dadati means giving. And then we get reciprocation in return. All our acharyas, they gave throughout their life. They gave their life to Srila Prabhupada. Not time, they gave their life to Prabhupada. Without sleeping, without eating. So much sacrifice. Oh, if we start counting, we can't understand that. Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj, no time to put tilak. Imagine. He said, I was not having any time to put tilak on my 12 tilaks on my body. I was so busy. They gave their life to Prabhupada. And what they got in return? There has to be some reciprocation. What they got in return? Tears. By remembering Prabhupada. This was the reward they got in return. Understand this reward? Shri Guru Charane Ravi. This reward they got in return. That whenever they are remembering or even uttering Prabhu, not even Par, the voice gets choked. I've seen, we saw Srila Gurudev, I've seen my Guru Maharaj. This is the reward by giving life. Tears in the eyes. And this happens when we attach that, when we get that attachment. So for that we have to give ourselves. The Guru Maharaj. He's mine. He's mine. This mood, this mamata, this possessiveness, he's mine. I belong to him. He belongs to me. This mamata, possessiveness is very important. And Gurudev always telling, mamata, very important. Gaur Premanande. Sorry, so much time today, 2 o'clock. So, any announcement? Now? Okay. So meanwhile, art is going on here. Devotees will sing. I can distribute gifts. Please come one by one. The gifts from Nand Maharaj, from Gokul, and Vishnu Maharaj from Raval.